Hey, it's that time again. What's up, everybody, man? Figures of Action Reviews, and I'm back in here with a chilling review. Yeah, man. It's good to be back. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I like when I got the time to take out the figs and break them down and get them out the box and see what's happening with them. And today we got none other than the so wanted, so coveted Psylocke and Thanos Gamerverse 2-pack. Now, I don't know how many of you all grew up playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, let alone Marvel vs. Capcom and the whole fighting game, the Capcom fighting game genre in general, but this was a part of my childhood. I mean, hey, I can't tell you how many hours I logged in on that Dreamcast, man, when it came to this game right here. Like, ain't nothing more, nostalgic than hearing those theme musics from those different stages and boards in this game, man. Like, I don't know, man. One of the soundtracks that I really can't get out of my mind is that crossover theme when you got two of the ultimate or the supers going from to both your characters jumping on one character at the same time, man. It just constantly plays in my head. But you know what? Honestly, I looked at the whole Target situation with the exclusive and the pre-order and the dates being one thing, and it's like, oh, you get told the dates was one way, was gonna be one day, and then next thing you know, the pre-order date was changed up, and then it came time for the pre-order, and like pretty much they sold out within a matter of minutes. So you know what I'm saying, you got your scalpers out there trying to get them, and then they trying to resell them for super high prices. They already still going strong on eBay for like $100. Look, I take my chances, and you know what? It pays to find like-minded and really chill and cool people that you can connect with in the toy community, because if it wasn't for me befriending another YouTuber, cool guy, I probably wouldn't have this right here. Now, I did find the packs later on in Target. I walked in Target and saw two of these packs in there, but by that time I already had this delivered up my doorstep. And you know what? I owe a big thanks to Collecting This Fun. Collecting This Fun hooked me up, man. He went out the day they were supposed to hit the street, and honestly, I was still under the belief that they weren't supposed to drop until late July and early August. But apparently that time was switched up, and it came out early, or earlier than what it was supposed to be street dated for. So Collecting This Fun was out early in the morning, and he ended up getting one, and he ended up helping another guy get one. But then he went back out again. He went back out to another Target, and lo and behold, he found this one under the shelf. Somebody had stowed it under the shelf, and you already know some of the videos and shorts that I make, I peek up under the shelves because I constantly tell people, hey, you got to look under the shelves. Sometimes people would just be willing to take stuff, and they take it there. Look, they'll throw Pokemon cards under there. Scalpers do that all the time. They just try to stash them under there and all that. But Collecting This Fun hooked me up. He's like, hey, man, you want it? I was like, yeah, man. I was like, yeah, sure. He was like, hey, I got you, bro. I got you. I was like, well, you know what? I appreciate it, man. And then he sent it off. So, it was like, hey, look, I'm glad I had a connect. You need to get you a connect. You need to find somebody that's chill, somebody that you can, all right, you feel comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? Some tight people. And there's some pretty cool people in the toy collecting community. But, hey, Collecting This Fun, thanks, brother. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for the hookup. Now, let's get to the good stuff, and let's pop this boy open. Oh.
All right. And once again, my mic went out, and I guess I thought I had it turned on, but it wasn't turned on. So you guys are getting this. I'm talking through this. I was not going back once again and doing this video footage all over again. But yes, now that we got these figures out of the box, I must say that they are some good looking figures. They aren't great. Like I said, I am not about to glaze anything. I like the figures. I was looking for them. I just said, hey, I didn't get the pre-order. I wasn't mad about it. But now that we got a chance to get these figures out of the box, I will say that they look good. And I'm very, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with what I see. I do have some nitpicks. There are some very minuscule, some very small things that I have to say about it that I think could have been done better. And also just a few flaws. But there aren't flaws where it would have kept me from buying the figures altogether. You know, Thanos looks good. I didn't have Thanos like this, which was that King Thanos. I think that King Thanos was the one that came out. And right now, that guy's like selling for like 40 plus on eBay. And I wasn't about to pay that because most of those are pre-owned. I mean, like they've been already popped out of the box and people have messed around with them. And then they decide to sell them, especially now that they can get this new Thanos. But for Psylocke, man, I will say that I like the way she looks. Marvel Legends did a good job when they chose to put a brand new female body in place, and they gave her the body that they put on that Black Widow. There are some differences between this and that Black Widow, so I mean, it's not one for one, but it's good and it's better than what they've been using. Now, what I'm pointing at to is the discoloration on the shoulders. If you can see it, there's a tinge of blue, and it looks like the whole body, that part of the body was colored blue, and then they painted flesh tones over it. But they didn't do quite a good job. You know, it's kind of like, hey man, you know, hey, we got to treat y'all like school kids. Color inside the lines, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can see it on the thighs, and you can definitely see it on the shoulders, and then there's this like spotty paint job on the hands. Bringing it in forward, and look, make no mistake, the camera is not blurring that. It is actually how the hands are painted. You know, like I said, these are very small details that, you know, I found that I'm gonna point out. I'm not gonna glaze anything, and you can see it on the body. It makes me think that the body altogether was kind of like a rush job. You know, it was like they just sprayed it down, colored it up, threw it in the pack, and put it out there. Because, well, like I said, these things actually came out. This pack actually came out sooner than what it should have. Now, the articulation, hey, I'm so glad that she has double jointed elbows and knees, and that it's pinless, because it looks great. Pinless looks great when it's not actually pinless. It's just that they had to have the pins hidden. She has the rocker on the foot, which gives her, you know, a better range of articulation when she does like the low crotch position, and you know, you want to push that leg all the way out, and then you can slant the foot to give her, you know, a better stance. And it actually helps, because I'm fumbling around with it right now trying to get her in this stance, and she's wobbling, weaving, but because of those foot rockers, it gives her a better chance to stand up. Now, I'm gonna point something out real quick that I found that they did different. As soon as I can get her to just sit still, come on, girl, work with me, work with your boy. Okay, all right, there we go. She's got it. All right, so here's that fierce, you know, head sculpt, which I like. I think that they've done a very good job when it comes to, you know, doing like the second head, because you get the neutral face, but then you also get that fierce fighting face. And I think a lot of the figures need that. They need the neutral face, and then they need the fierce fighting face. But if you can see inside of that head sculpt, that the hole is bigger than what the normally with those the pegs for the head go on. That peg that sits in there is a lot bigger. And it, for me, changing the head, I needed like some needle nose pliers to pull that joint out. Watch, I'm gonna show you. So you see, you got the small ball joint at the bottom, and then on the inside of the head, the ball joint that goes in the head is much larger, which is different than what Hasbro Marvel Legends usually does, because the ball joint that goes inside the head is smaller than what's on the Psylocke figure. And I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they made that change. I just know when I pulled the head off and I tried to get it out the first time, I was like, okay, this is different. Now, how am I gonna fix this problem? But luckily, I had a pair of needle nose hair pliers, and I really didn't have to, you know, squeeze it hard. It was just, I needed to just grip it softly. I needed something that can get in there and get that and pull that joint out. It's not hard to pull out. Now you can really see that blue that's on the shoulders that I was talking about, when it looks like the whole upper body was blue and they just painted flesh tone over it. So like I said, this is minor. It wouldn't have kept me from buying the figure, but at the same time, I'm like, come on, Hasbro, come on, man, what y'all doing? Well, this looked like prototype stuff. can kick this high when it comes to her legs. She has the folding ability. I like that. Now she is on that Black Widow body book, but here's the thing: she can't get as low as the Black Widow. The Black Widow figure can actually get down low and crouch and touch the ground. She can't, and the reason I think she can't do that is because the size of the thigh and the calf muscle, because they're much bigger, that they touch early, and that she doesn't have a deeper range when you're folding those legs back. So she doesn't get a far back motion when it comes to folding her legs. So that's one of the differences of the Black Widow figures, that because her thighs and legs aren't as big, her calves, aren't as big, she can fold them back a lot further, which allows her to get lower to the ground and actually be able to touch the ground. However, once again, that's just it's just something minor. It's not something that's going to stop me from buying this figure. And I'm trying to see whether or not she can get down low enough to touch the ground with her one arm, and you can just pivot. But as you can see, she has an incredible stance, and the way they made this, I'm liking it, because it looks just like Psylocke from Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which I'm good with that. So we're gonna move Thanos out of the way for a minute, because I actually don't have another Marvel Legends Psylocke. The only other Psylocke that I have is a Mafex Psylocke that I got a couple months ago when they re-released her. So when I saw that coming, I was like, yeah, I'm getting that. I'm getting it, because honestly, I did not collect Marvel Legends because the female figures were largely, I don't know why they chose to do that. They gave female figures the single jointed elbows, and to me, it just looked horrible. I have a few female figures that had those elbows, and that's kind of like when I kind of basically was willing to compromise and buy certain figures that I was interested in that were made that way. One of them was the Black Widow with the gray suit and the brown jacket. Now here's my Mafex Psylocke, and here's what I'm gonna tell you, right? So there's a difference. Like, that Mafex Psylocke looks, to me, it looks more like Aeon Flux. And if you guys have seen Aeon Flux, you guys know about it, then you guys can understand what I'm talking about. She gives me that kind of vibe. That the Mafex version kind of reminds me of Aeon Flux. And I'm definitely liking the Marvel Legends version, because it is similar to that game version of Psylocke, but side by side they're about the same height. I think that Mafex better be painted a little nicer. It better be. Her range of motion articulation is a bit higher, and it better be, because it's, once again, this is a premium figure that we pay for. So it's like, look, this wasn't $30, this wasn't $50, this was more than $60. So yeah, she better have a better range of motion, and she better be painted nicely, which she is, and I enjoy having this figure. But when I saw that Hasbro Marvel Legends was bringing out the Psylocke from Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I was like, oh yeah, I'm interested. I want that. I want that figure. And she has proven to have nice articulation. But that is the only other Psylocke that I own, was the Mafex version. So with that, I'm gonna just say, Hasbro, you guys kind of dropped the ball on this in one way. Psylocke could have been a deluxe figure solo release. Oh yeah. You see this power effect, 2 heads, well, 3 power effects. Then she has 3 extra hands to sort through. I don't know why they gave her this grippy hand, but by now, a lot of us, we have katanas from other figure lines and other third parties. So if somewhere along the line you should have picked up a katana, and then you still can if you haven't by now. But she definitely could have been a solo release all by herself in a deluxe package. Remember, Hasbro Marvel Legends is the same team that tried to jerk you around with that MCU Electro, and that thing had the same amount of accessories as the retro card, a female Electro, that was $24.99. So it's like, if you took a chance with that MCU Electro, why didn't you take that same chance with Psylocke? She was definitely good to go all by herself. People already been saying, like a lot of the reviews that I've seen on this figure, they say, hey, let's get to it, and we already know we're gonna get to Psylocke because she's the main attraction. She's the main attraction, Hasbro. You guys could have got a deluxe figure out of this. The amount of accessories that you put with Psylocke that she comes with alone justifies a deluxe package. That's in my opinion. That's my honest opinion. My honest opinion is that Psylocke could have been a deluxe figure release by herself, and people would have bought her. She still would have been bought out. People would have been scouring Targets left and right trying to find it. And it's like, you guys, Hasbro, you guys dropped the ball on this. You know what? I'm gonna ask, do you know what you're selling? Look at this. Look at all this that you put in the pack. You put all this in the pack, and you chose to go with a 2-pack. And I know that the Marvel Legends team loved their 2-packs. They love giving you 2-packs, but for a business decision, I would have made this a deluxe figure. She has 3 power effects, 2 heads, and all those hands. The only thing she missing is a katana, which, I mean, hey, I already have another katana, so I'm not tripping on that. And I like the fact of the hair being black and purple versus the Mafex version being like more lavender purple. It definitely gives you the one-to-one look of the Psylocke that's on the game, but also the Psylocke that you see normally in the comics, because she doesn't normally, you don't see her with lavender purple hair. You see her with black/purple hair, you know. So it is similar to the comics, and it's similar to the game version as well. So I will say they did good on that. I will say that this was a good figure. It just has some minor flaws that I'm gonna call out. I'm not glazing nothing, and we're not gonna just give a standing ovation like, oh, it's a 10 out of 10. No, it's not. It's not a 10 out of 10. It's good, just not a 10 out of 10. Now, moving on, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bring out the big guy himself, Big Beefy Thanos. Yeah, man. So I own 2 other Thanos, and before I didn't get a chance to pick up that King Thanos, and like I said, that guy's like over $40 now for brand new, and he does get a nice kick. He gets an okay kick. I'll give it an okay. It's not the best. I wish he had butterfly joints. He does have the softer plastic for his shoulder pads. It's not super hard plastic, and I'm really liking that face sculpt that they did. They did a great job. I just wish they would have gave him a second head. The Thanos snap finger, cool, but Hasbro, let me ask you a question. Where are the grippy hands? You know, you see that guy in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and he's throwing out, bubbles and earth and huge fireballs. Where is all that? You gave a lot of love to Psylocke, but you didn't give any love to Thanos. And I know you can consider this a re-release, but honestly, you guys dropped the ball on Thanos. It's like you just shoved him in the pack like, here you go, you guys. And here's one of the only other Thanos that I own, and it's the Diamond Select Thanos. Surprisingly, this Thanos isn't super tall like all the other figures that Diamond Select made. But when I picked him up at the time when he was out, he was good. This was a good looking figure. A bit stiff. Articulation is limited. But overall, he was a good looking Thanos. And for a while, that was the only Thanos I had. Just that that Diamond Select Thanos. That's all I had, was that one. Until a couple of months ago, it was sometime last year when I picked up this Mezco Thanos, which is fire. Yo, that dude is tough, man. I ain't gonna lie, that dude right there, that Thanos is tough. And he comes with a lot of accessories. He comes with 2 different types of the Infinity Gauntlet. So you have that whole arm piece, and then you have another piece that just fits on to the stub of an arm that he has when you take it off. But my guy looks great, and I know that it is working with material, and with Mezco, the more you move that material, it wears down. But that gauntlet right there is dope, because on the inside of that, there's a small light up feature that goes in there, and when you turn it on, it makes the gems light up. That thing is awesome. And so I'm very, very happy when I got it. I actually got it from a guy who was selling a bunch of Mezcos that were no longer being sold. He had them. And if you look at the comparison, I'm like, look, man, you can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. But that Mezco Thanos, that Infinity Gauntlet, that's where it's at. It's I mean, it's not the best because the articulation is limited on that Thanos, but it does good. And I was happy when I got it. But when I saw that 2-pack come out, I was like, yo, hey, this is my chance to get a Thanos that I don't have to worry about tearing up the material suit and all that. And it's I will say I'm impressed. I just really wish Hasbro had done some more for him. Where's the love, man? Put some respect on this dude's name. This is Thanos. This is the Mad Titan we talking about. And in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, like I said, this man was, he was throwing big, huge power balls. He was pulling up Earth. He was throwing bubbles that stick you. Like, man, where is his powers? You know, you could at least put that big energy ball in there. You know, it's very lacking. Where's the grippy hands? I really wish this guy had grippy hands. And he also could have been a deluxe figure. This Thanos could have been a deluxe figure. You could have put 2 power effects in there, grippy hands, Thanos snap hand, and it would have been good to go. I mean, Hasbro re-released the Red Hulk with 2 sets of hands without an extra head and an increased price. But yet we get a Thanos without grippy hands, and we just get 1 extra Thanos snap hand with the Infinity Gauntlet. And that's lazy. That is a very lazy release to me. And it shows that you guys really don't have confidence into what you're selling. You're basically saying to me in this 2-pack is that the only way Thanos was getting sold is that you had to put him in there with Psylocke. And I understand. You know, look, this is what I'm saying. Like, why didn't Thanos get a neutral face like the Mezco? Mezco has the neutral face and they have the fierce face and another head on top of that. But it's Mezco. It's a premium figure. They do that. But I really believe that this Thanos in the 2-pack should have had 2 heads. There should have been he can have the smiley face, like with the teeth showing. Cool. I think that face sculpt looks great. I think it does. And it actually, brings out Thanos. It screams Thanos because that's how he looks in the comics when he has his devious mind working. But he should have had if not a fierce face, a neutral face with his mouth closed. And the grippy hands, once again, Hasbro, where are the extra hands? I'm gonna keep saying it because they dropped the ball on this. That Thanos could have been a deluxe. He could have been a deluxe figure too. He could have been $34.99, $39.99, and he still would have sold. There are a lot of people who did not get that King Thanos, and preferably it was just like, do I really want to pay 40 plus bucks for a pre-owned King Thanos, or do I want to wait for a new one? Because we know you're gonna bring him back out. We know at some point you're getting a new Thanos. This ain't nothing new. Overall, the color, I will say I like the color. I just don't like that he did not come with the same amount of accessories that Psylocke did. And if that would have meant that this would have been an $80 2-pack versus $60, I still would have paid for it. Like I said, buy what you like, collect what you like, and who cares? You just saw Mezco on the screen. So you think I'm buying Mezcos, but I wouldn't pay for an $80 2-pack with the right amount of accessories? That would have just sealed a deal for me. It would have been like, they went all in on the Gamerverse. They went straight up and was like, here, this is what we got. This is what we doing. You got the full game experience. And a lot of people, I don't know, younger crowd, if they play Marvel vs. Capcom 2, if you haven't, get on it. Play it. Hey, see what it's all about. Trust me, the hype is real with that game. I logged a lot of hours on that game. This Thanos articulation is not bad. He doesn't have the upper. I've seen them do it. I've seen Marvel Legends do the upper waist articulation and the lower ab crunch. Maybe the size and sculpt, they weren't able to do that. It would have looked a little funny. They went safe with it. They gave him the lower ab crunch and said, hey, this is what we're gonna go with. But overall, I am like, cool, that's fine. I have no problem with his color. I really wish you would have had butterfly joints, but overall, I just think they wanted to bring out a character, and they thought, hey, let's do Thanos. But they also had a lot of other characters they could have done. But I'm glad they did do Thanos, because now I don't have to worry about, messing up my Mezco Thanos every time I'm trying to do a punch or kick and I'm stretching that fabric. Pretty much, this guy is good to go. Man, I will say overall, if I was to grade this 2-pack, I would give it a 7. I would give it a 7. One, because of the sloppy paint job that Hasbro did on Psylocke. The sloppy paint job is minor. Like I said, it wouldn't keep me from buying it. But also because it's not as great as some others would make you think. It was like, oh, it's just the greatest thing out there. This is the greatest 2-pack. Oh, look, it's the honeymoon phase. Everyone got a new Psylocke, and it's on a new body. Well, newish body. It's not on the same limited articulated body, and they got a different color Thanos, and he does look good. So a lot of hype is in it right now. People are still having trouble trying to find it, and when you bring out something new, people always rush to get the new thing. So right now it's just living on hype. Look, I'm very, very impressed with that head sculpt. I'm gonna keep showing it because I'm impressed with it, man. I like it. Other than that, I'm just gonna let you. Look, you tell me what you think down in the comments. Like I said, you guys enjoy what you collect. Don't let nobody tell you different. I'm just somebody who shares my opinion because I don't want to be typing a whole bunch in your comment section. But with that, Figures of Action Reviews is signing out. Peace.